Well, hey, hello there. This is Jovan Cleave. Welcome to another episode of the typewriter video series. Today we're at Cricket Head B&B in west of Tucson, Arizona, on the edge of the Saguaro National Park in the Sonoran Desert. And today I'm talking about typewriters and travel with them and how you work with typewriters in public and in venues where there's other people. So it's obvious that if you go into any indoor public venue like a coffee shop, for instance, that you're going to see a lot of people with their computers or their tablet devices, and those devices don't make really that much noise. If a person's playing music or whatever, they're going to typically use headphones. But for the purposes of writing, obviously typewriters make more noise than a computer does, right? So the topic of today is, how do we peacefully coexist in the public venue with typing and having other people around? So this topic was brought to my mind as yesterday evening, when we were enjoying the quiet desert environment around this beautiful setting in the Sonoran Desert. How quiet the desert is, or serene. At the same time, in the daytime, you may be able to hear on my microphone, there's a lot of birds and insect noises around here. But in the evening, it becomes very quiet. And then when you pick up the typewriter and go out to the back patio, you become, at least I do, I become kind of self-conscious about the fact that my typewriter is probably resounding around the property and people can hear it. And does that bother me? Does that impact my ability to focus on my writing? Well, that's a good question. And I got to thinking about this, and to me it kind of resembles the whole dilemma of being a smoker and having to peacefully coexist with the rest of society who may disagree with your choice of habit. So I think as a typist in public, you kind of have to think about it being similar to being a smoker, that you may have to in order to peacefully coexist as a typist, you have to find a setting that you can set yourself a little bit further away from where other people might be if the noise of it's going to be an irritation. So in the case of this venue, I'm maybe 10 yards away from the back patio. So if I am typing out here, I'm not going to be quite as bothersome in terms of the sound. So there's the setting, so picking an appropriate place to where it's not so irksome, if you will. There's also the fact that to peacefully coexist as a typist in public with other people, you may have to consider the time of day. For instance, if I'm going to be typing around these grounds at 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock at night when other guests might be wanting to get some sleep, it might be a bad choice. So again, there may have to be some compromises I have to make in order to write as a typist in public here in this venue. Now, certainly you can sequester yourself into your room, sit at your desk and type. And hopefully the rooms are soundproofed enough that you don't have to worry about the sound of typing bleeding through the walls and disturbing your neighbors. But one of the joys of having portable or semi-portable typewriters as you're traveling is the fact that you can go out of your room into the outdoors, into some very inspiring location such as this. And it really does help your writing process, at least for me and for a lot of other people. The writing process is improved if you can find some venue that's inspirational. So there is this fact that we are tempted to go type in public. And doing so, of course, now you have the problem that it's in public. There are other people around, right? So again, my advice is consider peaceful coexistence as your objective. Consider the venue, the location of where you're typing. Indoors in a echoey room in public like coffee shops is not always beneficial. You may have to sit outside somewhere where there's outdoor noises that might drown out the sound of typing, and it's not so echoey. And then consider the time of day, and consider your fellow people around you, your guests, if you will, if you're staying at a place like this. So it's the whole principle of peaceful coexistence and trying to manage what you want to do as a creative writer versus how that might disturb other people. So that's my thoughts for today regarding peaceful coexistence as a typist in public when you're traveling. I think there's really, though, a lot of opportunity to type, to write, and not disturb people, but you have to kind of be creative at that and kind of look for those opportunities. But in any ways, this is Joe Van Cleave, and I hope you've gotten some value from this, and you have yourself a great day.